Hi guys, this is Anna and Marlene's Economic Growth Project. The countries we have chosen are Mexico, Bolivia, and Djibouti. Mexico is ranked 71 in the World's Human Development Index. The picture of the bird is the coat of arms and is also used as the official shield of Mexico. It symbolizes strong religious connotations and triumph of good over evil. As most of us know where Mexico is located, it is located south of our border. Bolivia is ranked 113 in the world, and it is located in South America. Its coat of arms, which is also on their flag, is symbolic of their natural resources, the struggle for independence, representing their liberty and their freedom and their willingness to defend their nation. Djibouti is a small country in Africa. Its coat of arms is also on their flag. The two hands represent their main ethnic groups of the nation, Afar and Solami, symbolizing unity, equality, and peace. Djibouti is ranked 170 in the Human Development Index. Moving on to the country's health, life expectancy. Mexico, they can live up mostly to about 76 years. Bolivia, about 69, and Djibouti, 62. It goes with the high and low of their Human Development Index. Their education. Their total literacy rate, which is the percent of the population who is over 19 that can read and write. Djibouti is 67%, Mexico's is 93%, and Bolivia is 91. Fairly good for Mexico and Bolivia. Djibouti has more than half, barely, but they are a very small country. Continuing on education, school life expectancy. The graph displayed here is as you can see, the world, and how many years they go to school. Djibouti goes about 6 years. Bolivia and Mexico both go 13 years. This graph is from 2005, but it gives you an idea where everybody stands in the world. Now let's talk about their incomes. We're going to talk about the GDP per capita. As you can see as the graph, we're comparing also the U.S., which is very high up there compared to the three countries we have chosen. Djibouti, which is our lowest country, is at 2,700. Bolivia is 5,500, and Mexico is at 15,600. You would expect them to be just a little bit higher, because we look very bad next to the U.S. But these countries have a lot of problems. Okay, moving on to the unemployment rates. Djibouti has over half of their population, which is 59% unemployment. Bolivia has 7.4%, and Mexico has 4.9%. The U.S. has 7.3%. So as you can see, Mexico has less unemployment than the U.S. and the U.S. and Bolivia are kind of tied, but nowhere compared to more than half the country as Djibouti. The next statistic we're looking at is the population below the poverty line. Djibouti is at 18%, Bolivia is at 45%, Mexico is at 52%, and the U.S. is at 15%. Mexico is more than half of their population below the poverty line, and Bolivia is, almost there as well. Djibouti, for their GDP per capita, you would think that more people would be below poverty line, but it's how things work. Our last interesting statistic is child labor. Mexico has 5% of their children working. It's not that common. It is, but it is. Djibouti has 8% of them. But the very interesting one has to be Bolivia, because Bolivia has 26% of their children working. This graph shows you a lot, how old they are, if they're girls or boys, where they live, and, if they're poor or they're rich, and comparing them to the ones who actually do go to school. 5 to 9-year-olds, 22% of them work. 10 to 14-year-olds, 45% of them work. Boys at work are 32%, and girls are surprisingly more, at 34%. The ones who live in, urban areas are 16%, and rural areas are 58%, and then the poorest, have a lot more, which is at 62%, and, the richest, I guess, they also go to work, which is 14%. I just thought that was very interesting. You wouldn't think that many children would end up going to work. But we have to be very grateful that in the U.S. we're at 0%. But this is it. I hope you enjoyed and have a good day.